This is Nepal, a country of tall mountains, nature, and adventure. Today, it's not about this beautiful nature, it's about this, this, and many more.
मन पर्ने त अब बलियो नि हुने मनले पनि श्रीमती गर्नु नि हुन्छ हाम्रो त बलियोको लागि हो
It's about traditional architecture that is transforming. So before going into the video, let me tell you about myself. I'm Srizan, architect from Nepal and currently working in the United States. So I've started this series where I will be talking about architecture and other related things. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. So let's get back to the video. I'm going to talk about the vernacular architecture of Nepal and why it's not getting enough attention and why it matters. Okay, wait. What is vernacular architecture? Vernacular architecture is the architectural technology that people have learned from their forefathers. It's a traditional form of technology where people are using local materials from brick, stone, wood that is locally available, and they are building the houses in terms of their own culture, responding to the local climate. Sounds so good, isn't it? Like, I would love to make house like that. Listening to all these things, don't you think like we have lots of these kind of buildings because it looks so good with all the use of local materials and everything? But is that a case? After this, there comes a huge player.
The earth is trembling again now.
In April 2015, a massive earthquake hit Nepal, leaving more than 9,000 dead.
नेवारी घर बलियो हुँदैन ढलान गर्नुपर्छ हैन यो पथकेकोमा धेरै भत्कियो भन्छ अब पुरानो घरलाई वा कुनै पनि पुरानो चीजलाई त मेन्टेन गर्नुपर्ने माया गर्नुपर्यो टाइममा रेनोभेट गर्नुपर्यो
7.8 Richter scale. I also faced it. And after that, most of people, they stopped using these kind of vernacular technologies. And let's talk about the reason on why people stopped using it. After earthquake, people thought that these vernacular buildings are not very safe. There were huge coverage on these things as well. Two places called Sindhupalchok and Dolkha, which were among the epicenters of 2015 earthquake. There were 90% of mud mortar building and most of them got damaged. But at the same time, they also had 4.5 and 3.5 concrete construction respectively. Significant amount of these concrete houses were also damaged at that time. Did they get any coverage? It seems like there is also a little bit of biasness of media as well. I'm saying vernacular architecture is getting more coverage in terms of damage than concrete, but it doesn't change the fact that they were damaged. So the question is, are they really safe?
नेवारी बिल्डिङहरु चाहिँ स्ट्रक्चरली साउन्ड नै त भन्न मिल्दैन तर चाहिँ नेवारी बिल्डिङहरुमा सर्टेन टाइपको चाहिँ फिचर्सहरु हुन्छ जसलाई चाहिँ इम्प्रुभड वेमा चाहिँ युज गर्न सकियो भने स्ट्रक्चरली साउन्ड हुने चान्सेस चाहिँ हाई छ
Okay, vernacular house might not be totally structurally sound, but this research paper shows that this and this building has survived several earthquakes. These research papers suggest that seismic bands help to survive the earthquake without collapse. So if proper construction techniques are employed, these vernacular techniques could be seismic resistant. But most of the building at that time, they lacked these kind of things. And there are so many reasons for not having them, but one of the reasons is government policies. Nepal Adhikari says the government policies on forestry gives more preference for modern material in construction and abandon the uses of hardwood for bands as the policies are not in the favor of them. Wood is very expensive now, and when wood are very expensive, people stopped using it. And the matter of fact is we are importing concrete, but at the same time not regulating the use of timber. Okay, so now we know that these buildings are safe if we use timber bands, corner bands. If we stitch them together to make it very sturdy like a one unit, they're very safe. I mean, even the concrete building are not safe if we don't use proper construction technique, and we have seen lots of examples in 2015 earthquake.
टुरिस्टहरू काठमाडौँमा किन आउँछन् त? यही हेरिटेज हेर्न नै हो। भोलि यहाँ सबै मोडर्न बिल्डिङ भएपछि त उनीहरू आउँदैन।
Let's talk about why it matters. It matters because of so many reasons. First, it's architectural identity. Bandipur is the perfect example that building has created the place's identity. And this is like a very basic thing that I'm saying. And another reason is sustainability. Embodied carbon emission is a very talked about thing nowadays. It means the amount of impact of all the greenhouse gas emission attributed to materials during its life cycle. Reinforced concrete has extremely high embodied energy from manufacturing to construction to disposal.
Environment friendly छ environment friendly किन भन्दाखेरि यसले कार्बन इमिसन को भनौं न ब्रिकले अथवा सिमेन्टले स्टिलले जुन लेभलको कार्बन इमिसन गर्छ त्यसले
So if you use local materials for these kind of construction, the amount of carbon emission would be very less compared to concrete, which you have to import from some other places. So that's how we can reduce the carbon emission as well. And this research paper shows that even the vernacular building, they perform really better. Traditional building of Kathmandu saves at least 10 to 20% of energy used for heating and cooling. The indoor temperature is 1 to 2 degrees different than the outdoor temperature. So there is the advantage of thermal performance as well. We have the advantage of sustainability. Then why are we not using it? And not just that, the materials used for the vernacular construction, they are also reusable. In the research of 9 houses, they were found to be mostly sustainable in terms of 7 parameters that are recycling, reusability, environmental toxicity, and many more. Till now, there is no way of reusing the concrete. You have to dispose it, and that is also creating lots of mess. Okay, I'm not saying government has not done enough to enforce vernacular architecture. After 2015, there was a catalog showing all the vernacular technology and making the vernacular buildings from mud, mortar, stone, and everything, but people stopped using it. And one of the reasons is not the proper check and balance of how to use it, because if people are using these kind of construction, they need the proper knowledge. It's high time to act. Otherwise,
scientists say they are melting, that 1/3 of these glaciers will melt by the end of the century, even if current efforts to reduce climate change succeed. And if they fail, they will melt by 2/3. At risk is the livelihood and security.
What do you think? Who should play an important role in saving these vernacular houses? Is it government? Is it policymaker? Or is it us, citizen of Nepal? That's all for today, and thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.